We're here to protect you and the ones that you love. It's a good feeling to know that our efforts aren't going unnoticed.
It actually brought tears to my eyes to know that we have this support.
You're welcome. I must just say, you're welcome. It's stressful, but we're not going anywhere.
Welcome to another edition of Bucknell Women's Cross Country Through the Decades. Tonight, we have the most recent decade of Bucknell Women's Cross Country, that of the 2010s. My name is Todd Newcomb. I want to welcome you all at home for watching, and I want to thank Geisinger as our sponsor for tonight's event. Geisinger has done a great job throughout the pandemic, and as always, they do a terrific job with our student athletes on a daily basis, day in and day out here at Bucknell. I want to take a second to introduce our guest, and then I'll turn it over to Coach Donner and one of our current student athletes, Ashlyn Ramos, is a junior from the great state, all the way from the great state of Washington, and we thank her for being on the call tonight. We've got a great group of alums, and I'm going to get right to it. I've got a lot of highlights to cover, so this could take a second, Coach. So here we go. Our first guest, and I'm going to use maiden names, so if anybody's married, it's a maiden name tonight, so all your fans can recognize you from your time here at Bucknell. So our first guest from 2012, Stephanie Fulmer. Stephanie was a four-time All-Patriot League first-team selection. In indoor track, she was a Patriot League gold medalist in the pole vault in 2009, and also as a member of the 4x800 relay in 2010. She was a three-time All-Patriot League selection, including first team in 2009 and 2010. And in 2009, she was also the Patriot League Rookie of the Meet at the championship. In outdoor track, Stephanie was a three-time Patriot League champion, a two-time All-Patriot League first-team honoree, and an NCAA regionals qualifier in the 1,500-meter run in 2009, finishing 27th. She won the Chrissy Mathewson Award at the department's Senior Awards dinner. Our next guest from the class of 2013 is Colleen Tolli. She was a two-time All-Patriot League first-team selection in cross-country. In indoor track, she was the Patriot League individual champion in the 1,000 in 2012, the mile in 2013, and is part of the 4x800 relay in 2010. She was a four-time All-Patriot League honoree, including first-team selections in 2010, 2012, and 2013. She was All-East in the mile in 2013, where she placed third. In outdoor track, she was a three-time Patriot League individual champion, a five-time All-Patriot League honoree, including four first-team citations. She was All-East as a member of the 4x800 relay in 2011 that finished fourth. She was a seven-time academic All-Patriot League selection, including twice in cross-country, three times in indoor track, and twice in outdoor track. Caroline won the Alvin F. Jackson Jr. Memorial Scholar Athlete Award at the department's Senior Awards dinner. Our next guest from the class of 2017 is Sarah Chandler. Sarah was an All-Patriot League first-team selection in cross-country in 2015 and 2016, after being an All-Patriot League second-team choice in 2014. In indoor track, she was a seven-time Patriot League individual champion, including twice in the 1,000 and three times as a member of the 4x800 winning relays. She was four-time All-Patriot League honoree, including a first-team honor in 2015, 2016, and 2017. She was a four-time All-East selection, with her best finish being third in the 1,000 in 2016. In outdoor track, Sarah was a two-time Patriot League individual champion, a three-time All-Patriot League selection, including a first-team citation in 2017. She was All-East after finishing second in the steeplechase in 2017. She was an NCAA regional qualifier in the steeplechase in 2017, where she finished 31st. She was an academic All-Patriot League selection in indoor track in 2017, and she won the Brian Humphreys Award at the department's Senior Awards dinner. Our next guest from the class of 2018 is Chrissy Bendzinski. She was the Patriot League individual champion in cross country in both 2016 and 2017. She was an All-Patriot League first-team selection in 2015, 2016, and 2017. She qualified for the NCAA championship in 2017 and finished 143rd. In indoor track, she was a 10-time Patriot League gold medalist, including all 4 years in both the mile and as a member of the 4x800 winning relays. She was a 5-time All-Patriot League honoree, including first-team citations all 4 years of her career. Chrissy was named the Rookie of the Meet at the 2015 Patriot League Championship, was a two-time All-East selection, with her top finish being third in the 3,000 meter run in 2017. In outdoor track, she was a two-time Patriot League individual champion and a five-time All-Patriot League honoree, including first team selections in 2017 and 2018. She was two-time All-East with a second place showing the 1,500 meter run in 2015, and as a member of the 4x800 relay that finished second in 2018. She was a four-time NCAA regional qualifier, with her best finishes being 24th in the 1,500 meters and 14th in the 5,000 meter. She was nine-time academic All-Patriot League selection, including three times in each sport over her career, and she was the Patriot League Scholar Athlete for cross country in 2017. Chrissy won the Christy Mathewson Award at the department's Senior Awards dinner. And our final guest from the class of 2019 is Colleen Buckley. She was an All-Patriot League first-team selection 2016, 2017, and 2018. In indoor track, she was the Patriot League gold medalist in the 3,000 and 5,000 meter runs in 2018. She was a three-time All-Patriot League honoree, including Patriot League Athlete of the Meet at the 2018 championship. She was a two-time All-East selection, with her top finish being fourth in the 3,000 meter run in 2017. In outdoor track, Colleen was a three-time Patriot League gold medalist, including twice in the 10,000 meter run. She was a four-time All-Patriot League honoree, including two first-team citations, and she was All-East in 2017 after finishing seventh in the 10,000 meter run. She was also a two-time NCAA regional qualifier, with her best finish being 13th in the 10,000 in 2018. Colleen was a six-time academic All-Patriot League selection, including twice in each sport over her career. She was the Patriot League Scholar Athlete of the Year for cross country in 2018, and Colleen won the Bison Club Award at the department's Senior Awards dinner. Kevin, I need a breather. What a
Do we have enough time after all those accolades? So, well, first of all, I did catch something there. Stephanie Fulmer, congratulations on being the pole vault champion.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a
pretty
new
good.
skill.
Yeah, I don't remember
I forgot
that.
about.
I don't remember that one, but that's pretty good. So caught you there, Todd.
Well, you caught the record book. We'll have to check.
And then Caroline, I believe Tolli won the Chrissy Mathewson Award also, didn't you, Caroline? She won both. She won the Jackson and the Mathewson Award. So caught you there. But anyway, let's start with some questions here. Our first question, I'm going to start with Miss Fulmer. Tell us what you've been doing since graduation. Any, jobs, things like that. What you've been doing?
Yeah, so I currently live in Philadelphia. I am a forensic psychologist. I work quite a bit with the Department of Health and those individuals who suffer from mental illness and are currently incarcerated, working on getting them services. I belong to a here in Philadelphia. It's been wonderful. I actually have been able to find other people from Patriot League schools such as Lehigh and Lafayette who have also joined. So it's been cool because we remember each other from right now. We're teammates in a different capacity.
Good deal. Caroline, tell us what you've been doing.
Sure. So I spent the first about 6 years after graduation working for a Christian campus ministry, first at Lehigh, actually, and then in the greater Philadelphia area. And my family recently moved to Scranton. I got married in 2017. I have a 19-month-old daughter. And we just moved to Scranton, and I'm in the final stretch of my graduate program in clinical mental health counseling. So similar to Steph, but different population. I'm hoping to work with college students someday.
All right. Where are you living now?
The Scranton area. Yeah, we just moved this summer.
Awesome. Not too far.
Yeah.
Not too far. So, all right. Sarah Chandler, tell us what you've been up to lately. What you've been doing since graduation.
Yeah, I recently moved back into New York, the city here, into a new place, and I'm just living here and working from home. I'm currently working as a search and social coordinator for Omnicom Media Group, a large marketing company, and just kind of trying to do what the city has to offer during this time. And before that, I was just living at home during quarantine and worked a couple of smaller coordination jobs at home. So happy to be here. Thank you for
All
having
right.
me.
Congratulations. Yeah, great. And Colleen, weren't expecting you. You're last second replacement here.
Here I am. Yeah, so after graduation, I moved to DC. I was interning at the Smithsonian National Zoo in the primate house, which was awesome. It was really exciting. I didn't really know what I wanted to do when I left school, and it kind of let me look at research and look at zookeeping and watch the zoo vets, which was awesome. So that let me kind of explore a bunch of different pathways, but that ended a little bit prematurely due to COVID. You can't zookeep from home. So I just got a job at a vet's office just to kind of see maybe if that's what I want to do next. And then I'm looking into applying to a couple of schools in the DC area for my PhD. So that would start in the fall, but I really like it here. I joined a running club, Georgetown Running Club. So I'm still training and hoping to compete when things open up again. But I would like to stay in this area for a bit, but I guess we'll kind of just see where the next 6 months take me, and then I'll know a little bit more for sure.
All right. And Chrissy.
Hi, yeah. So moved to Colorado after graduation to follow my now fiance Luke out here, and we moved to Broomfield about a year ago, which is between Denver and Boulder, so in that area. I'm working at a biotech startup that does genome engineering in like the product development space, which is fun and fast-paced and stuff. Really enjoying that, and still hitting the roads and the trails pretty often around here. It's really beautiful to explore the mountains and things like that on the weekends. So yeah.
All right, good. And just for you old timers there, Luke Giuliano is her fiance. He's class of 2017. For a couple of you old timers here. So, and they're engaged. Congratulations on that, by the way. That's great. All right, well, let's stay with Chrissy here. Take us back to the beginning and tell us about your recruiting experience and how and why you ultimately chose to come to Bucknell.
Oh, I mean, I think it was all you, Coach Donner.
Yeah, right. Real reason.
I feel like when I was a junior, we kind of just showed up unannounced. We're like, let's walk into, the indoor track area and like find Coach Donner. And like, I think you canceled a meeting to meet with us, which is just so cool. And I got to kind of meet some of the team, and it was a really, really great first impression. I think overall for recruiting, it was, doing the overnight, getting to see, what the team aspect was, and then also, going to a class, realizing that the professor noticed I was like not in the class when I walked up. Like that was amazing. I was like, wow, I didn't see that at any other place. Realizing that, the academics were really high up there with the sports. Like we were really, Bucknell was really achieving in both areas. And that's was just really important to me as a incoming college student to know that. So yeah, that really had an impact on me. And then just being able to walk in and like talk to whoever was really nice. I didn't experience that at every place. So I just kind of felt at home, even though I was going to be 5 hours away. So.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. Stephanie Fulmer, how'd you end up here?
Well,
Story.
well, you let me visit 3 times, so that was helpful. I really did though, and it was great. I think that being able to go to a place and be part of a run where there's more than 3 other girls, which is kind of the high school I came from, was incredible. I think that it was very clear how much you cared personally about the program, and then the assistants that you had with you. Coach Rob at the time was somebody who I found to be particularly helpful and just supportive during that transitional role. And yeah, I would say you really also had like the best memory. So in a really fantastic way that made you feel important, but also scarily accurate. So it was hard to keep track. I don't think anyone else could compete with that.
All right.
For
Very
sure.
good.
He even knew you didn't win the pole vault.
Exactly. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
I do remember, I don't remember you winning that pole vault. So
Oh, it was the mile. It was the mile.
the mile. Yeah, it was one or the other. I couldn't think of it. So, Sarah Chandler, tell us your story. How'd you end up at Bucknell?
Yeah, I actually didn't really know if I wanted to run or not in college. So I had started my whole college search process without thinking about running. Looked at a bunch of schools, didn't talk to coaches, didn't look at the programs, and decided late in the game that I did want to run. I was having a good time in high school, and I decided that was something I wanted to do. And not shortly after that, I happened to get a letter from Donner about an official visit at Bucknell, and a couple of my other teammates in high school got one too. And we were like, let's just pick the same weekend and let's just do it. Why not? Let's go. Let's have fun. And that was it. We had an official visit here. Something just clicked at Bucknell. The team was just, I think I met everyone on the team in just my Sunday night that I was there. I couldn't have chosen, a more boring night to go than Sunday night. And I had the best time. We ended up hanging out with the entire girls and guys team in one house, watching a movie, playing board games, talking. And it was just that environment that I knew I wanted to be in. And it just felt right. So Bucknell it was.
Well, that's nice because this year's senior class of high school kids are not allowed to spend the night on campus, but they're not allowed to spend the night at pretty much any campus. So I've been doing Zoom calls every day. Matter of fact, I have one set for tonight after this with a person. So, all right, let's go to our next person here. Let's go with Caroline. How'd you end up at Bucknell?
Sure. Yeah. So I was familiar with the Patriot League because of my brother's experience running at another school, and just really felt like Chrissy was saying that in terms of cultivating both excellence in academics as well as athletics, that the Patriot League would be a really good fit for me. And I just had the most wonderful visit to Bucknell. Despite, I remember it was the only campus that where it was raining when I visited. But that is definitely not what made the biggest impression. I think for me, meeting some of the team was just the deciding factor. I felt like I could see myself becoming friends with the women I met. And I also knew that Bucknell was a winning program. And so it was really appealing to me to know that I was coming into a team where I would grow, where I would get better, where it was competitive, but competitive in a really healthy way, where we were helping each other get better. And so I was just very excited to be a part of the program.
I think your brother ran at Colgate. I think he was a conference MVP one indoor season. And
yeah.
He actually told you to go to Bucknell, didn't he?
He did. Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
So that was kind of neat. And then last but not least, Miss Buckley, Colleen Buckley, how'd you end up here?
Yeah, so I didn't know a lot about Bucknell before I started my recruiting process. There just weren't a lot of people from my area or my high school that ended up at Bucknell. but I knew from the beginning that I wanted to do some kind of animal science or animal studies. So I like literally went on the college board website and was like animal, and schools that had programs that were more streamlined than just like bio popped up. And Bucknell has an awesome animal behavior program, and a teeny tiny school has a primate lab. Like that's unheard of. So that was really, really appealing to me. And I had a couple of schools that I was looking at. It really came down to me to Bucknell and Cornell. And obviously Cornell is a great school and has great academics and a great program as well. But I came to my official at Bucknell. I feel like I'm echoing a lot of what everyone else said. And I very much remember sitting in the CAF. And it was like the big long table of boys and girls, and everybody was joking around with each other and making fun of each other. And it was like Monday morning at 8:30, and it was like the most fun breakfast of all time. And I was like, I could see myself here. Like, this seems like someplace that I would like to be. I loved the women that I met, and I loved the connection with the guys team that we had too. That was appealing to me as well. I went to an all-girls school for high school, but I had loved my co-ed team in middle school, and I was like, oh, this could be cool. Let's all be friends. So I think, as everyone has said, I fell in love with Bucknell at my official, and I kind of never looked back from there. That was it.
All right, great. Well, let's let Ashlyn Ramos ask the next question. Just to give you a little background on Ashlyn, she kind of recruited us. She sent me an email, and I looked her up. She said pretty good. I'm like, oh wow. And then she ended up coming and struggled her freshman year. But man, last year as a sophomore was outstanding. And I don't know if you guys heard, but our season's been canceled. But we did a little 3K time trial last week or 2 weeks ago. She ran 9:36 there on our track, which is pretty fast. And actually it's faster than our outdoor school record. But sorry, Ashlyn, we can't count it. It was just a practice run. But anyway, that's Ashlyn, and she's gonna ask some questions here.
Hi. First of all, this is so cool that you guys are all here. You're all like so fast, and it's like really nice to meet you the ones of you guys that I haven't. So the question that I have is, what advice would you give me or any of the other runners that are in our program today about the college cross country experience at Bucknell? And how about Caroline? Can you start us off?
Sure. Yeah, I love this question. So as I was reflecting on my time in the program, what stuck out to me was this idea of pushing yourself, but also being gentle with yourself. And so I think for me, sometimes when I would have a tough race or a bad workout, I spent too much time just being really critical and letting it affect my confidence rather than just taking that experience and learning from it. And so I think that would be my big takeaway as you go through the ups and downs, which there are ups and downs in this sport, just to embrace them for what they are and learn from them, and let every experience grow you as an athlete.
Chrissy, how about you?
That was so perfect, Caroline. I'm like, shoot.
That's
Yeah, no, that was so good. Totally what I was gonna say, but yeah, I think generally also just, she kind of touched on this already, but take the time to reflect. I definitely remember sometimes just kind of ruminating on the bad, but then when the good happened, like, oh yeah, okay, on to the next thing. Like, so just don't be bashful about letting the good moments kind of soak in, and taking that time to like enjoy that. Okay, I accomplished this, our team accomplished this great thing. We do have to kind of get back on the horse no matter what after a big meet, no matter what happens. But yeah, just let yourself feel the good moments, because that's what you ultimately want to remember for the rest of your life. So that's what I would say.
What's the quote that took you 2.5 years to figure out?
Oh my gosh. It's just training.
Yep. That's it.
Yeah. It's just training. You had a bad workout, whatever. Just get over it.
Chrissy would get a little critical after a workout and she didn't hit exactly the split. And I'd say, come on, man, it's just training. Jesus, come on, let's go.
Yeah. Okay. I have to say though, I spent like 9 months after graduation trying to train at a high level and kind of like run elitely. And I was with a coach, working remotely with a coach. And I actually did take that to heart, and I had to be my own cheerleader through it all. So I never hit the splits he gave me ever. And I still was like, yeah, I'm doing great. So I really appreciate that lesson that you had to ingrain in me. I know it took way too long to learn, but at least I got it.
Okay, Sarah.
Yeah, I want to bounce off what both Caroline and Chrissy said, and also just add in the idea of remaining open-minded, because there are going to be ups and downs. Your training is going to be different than high school. Your living situation is different than it's ever been, most likely. Most likely it's everyone's first time being away from home. And so just everything's different and everyone's changing. You really grow in college, figure out who you are, what you want to do, where you want to put your energy, whether, obviously academics and athletics are, top priority on that list, but a lot of things change in everyone's lives throughout college. So just remaining open-minded and willing to stay true to yourself, but also experiment and adapt new practices and whatnot. So definitely remain open-minded and have a good time with the ups and the downs. So.
Stephanie?
Yeah, so when I was thinking about this question, I'm going to go with actually something that's not as applicable to running and racing, which was my everything when I was at Bucknell. But what I really want to emphasize is the relationships that you form in this team. I never really fully got it. And every single year, all these people would show up from all over and cheer for you, and they knew your name and they knew that you were, all trying to win the Patriot League, and you're like, I don't know who these people are, but this is wonderful. And I just celebrated, I went to a wedding that I was a bridesmaid in for a couple that met at Bucknell, who I knew from freshman year. And it's just, you will see these people, you will continue to be friends with them. And it is its own family. And I think just building those relationships when you get maybe like down about running or your training is what really pulled me through and was like the most wonderful gift.
Colleen.
So I think my answer starts out sounding a little corny, but I think for someone that's living the Bucknell cross country experience right now, I think one of the most important things you can do is to embrace the little tiny moments. So of course I miss winning Patriot League championships and walking across the stage at graduation and all those things, but I also really miss laying on the field house floor after an easy run and walking up the hill to the calf after practice and sitting in the library on Sunday morning after we all went to Dunkin' Donuts, all those tiny things that people don't say, oh, this is your college experience. Those things are the college experience, and those are the things that I miss so much. So I would always think every summer when I was driving home, I was like, oh, I'm really going to miss sitting on the floor of the field house. But when I was sitting on the floor of the field house, I would never think about it. And sometimes I think you just have to sit in those tiny moments and be like, this is really cool. I'm really going to miss this, but I'm really going to appreciate it right now. So I think for someone that's living it right now, you should take that to heart and just remember those small things.
Yeah, a lot of my alums, they mention when 4:30 comes around, they're just like, man, I shouldn't be in this office. I need to be getting ready for practice, you know? And so I have a lot of alums saying that. So, all right.
I just have to say one thing. So I had this emotional connection to the bell toll, and I'm like tearing up right now because I heard it like one day from like a memory or something. Someone sent me a video, probably Lauren Grombeck. She took videos of everything and it's amazing. But yeah, just that like time, I think it's 5:31 p.m. but is so special, and it's like emotionally ingrained in me. It's kind of amazing. So I just had to bring that up. I thought of that real quick from what you were just saying, Coach Donner.
Great. That's great. All right. We're going to go with your most memorable experience as a part of the Bucknell cross country team. Stephanie Fulmer, what was it?
Sorry, you're going to have to repeat that one for me.
What was your most memorable experience as a member of the cross country team?
So many to choose from, but actually Tolli will, I think, maybe kind of think about this one a little bit more. My senior year, your junior year, cross country Lehigh Patriot League Championship, when we woke up to a couple inches of snow kind of out of nowhere. And we thought like it might snow, might not, put it together and ended up winning. And it was, you know, that grit, that tough, can't get wetter kind of experience that Donner always talks about. And that was a really, really special moment. One, because it was my senior year, but two, because again, it's all about the barriers and overcoming the obstacles and what you do as a Bison together to push through when there are obstacles that you don't really foresee. And here's the top.
All right. Caroline, what was your most memorable experience?
That made my list too, as well as I think, Colleen, all the little moments that you were saying. I was just feeling like it's so hard to pick just one because, yeah, all of those daily moments of just enjoying life with my teammates while we were running were so special. The other moment that really stuck out to me was my freshman year outdoor leagues when the men won for the first time, and we both won at home, and that was a triple crown year for us. I wasn't a part of the cross country squad for Patriot Leagues, but just to be a part of that and to really fully experience the one umbrella and winning together my freshman year was so special. So that moment really sticks out to me too.
That's my number one moment as a coach, is winning the outdoor title at home, men and women. And our first time we beat both men, Navy and Army at the same meet on the men's side. And if I remember right, we won by 2 points. And boy, that was a good one. That was a big one.
Quite the 4x4.
Watching the woman, we had won a bunch of titles, and I think we blew that one open like pretty bad. But watching our ladies celebrate for our guys was one of my most memorable moments. Yeah, that was really neat. So, all right, let's go with Sarah Chandler. Most memorable moment cross country.
Yeah, I was thinking about this one, and I was just thinking about the fact that I didn't actually run cross country in high school. So my only cross country memories are Bucknell memories. And I think that's kind of cool. The only cross country team I knew was Bucknell. And not to be corny, but can't really pick a single memory, I think, due to that fact. Although I do think that my memory is the progression through my 4 years that we were there. If you just use the Patriot League meet kind of as a marker, my freshman year was a new league, a younger team, I would say, and we did not do so great at league that year. I'll just leave it at that. But that, I think, really hit us. It really hit the team. And yeah, it stinks to say that for the seniors, that was their senior year, but I think for the rest of the team, it really stuck with us. And you can see that in the progression through my 4 years there, and then continuing after I graduated as well. We just became a powerhouse, and you could not only see the talent that was there and that just increased and that grew, but I think you could see the team grow. Bucknell's always had this huge cheer force, but I just think that, at least personally for me, I just felt the team not only grow together relationship wise, but grow together talent wise. And sophomore year, we tied, we almost were there in the Patriot League meet. And then my junior year, we finally won, and it was just an amazing feeling. And then even moving forward more into senior year, my senior year, we went 1, 2, 3, 4, and I don't think you could ask for anything better than that as your only cross country experience and memory. So,
yep. And Colleen, I think I know what yours might be, but go ahead.
Mine is senior year leagues.
Yep.
It was a pretty easy pick. I sat down and thought about it, and I was like, are you kidding me? Why am I thinking about this? This is obviously it. It was disgusting. It was awful. There was no snow, so you guys have us there, but it was really gross. But the unbelievable amount of support from like you guys were saying before, like people that I had no idea who they were, and they saw me warming up and they were like, you got it, Colleen. I was like, I have no idea who these people are, but it was crazy and it was amazing. And I think I went into that meet with the best attitude I've gone into like maybe any race of my life with. I was very confident. I was very nervous, but I was very confident. So it was like this awesome play off each other where I was nervous and I had adrenaline, but I knew that I had this incredible support team around me that extended years and years and years beyond my graduation year. And something that really hit me that day was it was the happiest day ever, and it was also really sad because it was the last time I would ever run the Patriot League cross country meet. And it was so incredibly reassuring to have this huge alumni network around me, because I knew at that point that I might graduate, but I would never really leave Bucknell cross country. So I might not be on the team anymore, but I'd always be on the team in a sense, and I'd always have the team around me. So that day was special for a lot of reasons, but I think realizing that incredible alumni network was one of the big ones.
Yeah, it was a big day. So, Chrissy, your most memorable experience cross country?
Oh yeah. I'm playing off Sarah's answer a little bit with the progression, but it's super memorable to go into your first Patriot League meet and think you won, and then you didn't.
Yep.
Like you think the team won, and then we're running around doing our victory lap, and then oh wait, we got second. Oh shoot. That's really memorable. It was really important too. Like we had this amazing, surge of success from one year to the next. And then we kind of needed that like knocked down a little bit. Like, okay, like we do need to keep, working harder and, making sure that that sort of thing doesn't happen. And then the next year going to Colgate, like, that was just incredible because we finally did it. And that kind of set the stage of, okay, this is just gonna be how it is for Bucknell. Like we're gonna come in, we're gonna win, we're gonna dominate. So that was really cool. And I also just had this very vivid memory. it kind of relates to how much support we always have out there with the cheer squad. Like they're all in Halloween costumes too, because it's right around then. So it's just like crazy and awesome and so orange. And I remember just running by that squad, and the sheer cheering like took all of the pain out of my legs. Like I don't know how that happens, but just passing people. And I remember telling Kate Scott and Sarah Chandler, who were right next to me at like the Lafayette course in the first mile, and I went, "We're tempoing." And the girls next to us were like, "What? What did she say?" And it was literally all
loud.
You just got so hyped on all of the great cheering and support that there was no way like we weren't gonna do this. So yeah, that's super special in my mind.
I think that was my famous night before speech, wasn't it? Remember that one?
Oh man.
I had like 5 pages of notes, and I was going over this huge race plan, and I didn't, it wasn't an act, but then midway through the talk, I'm like, you know what? We're the best team here. And I just ripped all the notes up. I said, just run your own damn race and win it, you know?
Yeah, it was totally not dramatic or anything.
Yeah, we had
it
the
was
best
awesome.
team. We
Yeah.
had the best team. So, all right. Caroline, who is the teammate you admired the most throughout your career here, and why?
Yeah. Again, a very challenging question. I think I appreciated all my teammates in different ways. But actually, the first person that came to mind was one of my captains freshman year, Gabby Scovira. And I actually don't know if she raced her senior year at all. She was dealing with a knee injury. But the reason she came to mind was just because she was an incredible leader. And I feel like she embodied so much of what is amazing about the cross country program, and her commitment to the team, and her encouragement, and her just being a completely valuable team member, even while she was dealing with this injury, which was like super rough, especially for her senior year. So yeah, I just feel like Gabby captured like the heart of the team, and for me really set the tone of what it looked like to be a part of the team, whether or not you were able to run at all, whether you're able to contribute to getting points. I just feel like I learned so much from her as a captain when I was a freshman. So yeah, there's my answer.
I had 3 Scaviras competed for us, and boy, they love Bucknell. That family absolutely loves Bucknell, man. And Gabby sure did. So Sarah, teammate you most admired?
Yeah, definitely a hard one. Also want to give the entire team a shout out, just because whether they were racing or not, you know, everyone, if you could, they traveled to the meets, they cheered, they made signs, they were over the top. And I don't think our team would have done what we did in certain races without them, for sure. But if I had to choose one person, it would definitely be Chrissy. I didn't have her my freshman year, which is sad, but she came in my sophomore year, her freshman year, and let me tell you, she kicked butt. And she showed me what true talent and hard work was. And she showed me who I could be as an athlete if I worked hard. And so I worked my butt off all summer so that I could be her training partner. Came back to school my junior year, her sophomore year. And from there, we were training partners, also with Kate Scott and also with Colleen. There was a group of us, but I think, you know, without her, I didn't know the level that I could have reached. And I think she helped me reach a level that I didn't even think was possible in high school. So definitely Chrissy. On and off the track, I will add too.
Oh.
So.
All right, Chrissy, who you admired?
Oh no, okay. You
don't, no awkward, don't have to say me.
honestly don't have an answer. I have an answer. It's just I can't pick one. I will tell you about a feeling I have though, which Todd was kind of going through the accolades on the people that I did run with, which was Sarah and Colleen. Like, I was getting very like emotional inside for them, like because I lived through those moments with them. And I think it's just so special that everyone on the team kind of lived each other's amazing moments and celebrated together. And man, I just remember through I think almost every gold medal that like Sarah got, I was like on her butt. I was like looking at like, go. So yeah, I wouldn't have wanted to do that with anyone else. Same with Colleen. I was on a couple of hers. Like just sharing that moment is just so special. So I guess, yeah, giving a shout out to the two who are on this call, just because I felt that like intense connection. Like we shared those medals together. That's really special. But yeah, I think just everyone on the team had some sort of different impact on me, and it's really tough to pick one person. So I guess the cop-out answer, but that's good.
I don't want to put the pressure on Colleen, so we'll go right to Stephanie here.
So my answer is similar to Caroline's answer. Mine is somebody who was captain my senior year, who really like took me under her wing. She was phenomenal. Jessica Hibbert was somebody who was able to see everyone on the team and paid like special attention, I think, to those who are kind of struggling and trying to figure out like where they fit, especially freshman year. And she was there, and not only was she an extremely phenomenal team captain, she was an engineer major and just was kind of doing it all. And it was really, really powerful to have somebody who was able to just be there and kind of help me with the growing pains of freshman year. And what you were referring to, Chrissy, with people who were dressed as random Halloween characters. Jessica Hibbert showed up as a lifesaver during my sophomore year, I think. So it just goes to show like that's who kind of she was to me at times, and I think to different teammates as well.
I remember that costume. I remember that. So that was all her. Colleen, who'd you admire? You're on mute.
Oh, sorry. I lost connection for a second there. Is it my turn?
Right. Yeah, we got you.
Okay, so I love Sarah and I love Chrissy with all my heart. But I'm gonna go off the beaten track here, and I'm gonna say the teammate I admired most. And my time in the team is actually one of my best friends through Bucknell and post-grad is Margaret Thompson. Margaret was like consistently injured to some degree. She always dealing with Achilles, but it was always pushed to the side. If you had a problem that you wanted to talk about, she was someone that was always there to be a sounding board. She was the most diligent person with any physical therapy, with rehab, but it was always on the side. It was always, she did her own thing. She did what she needed to do quietly, and she always showed up for you, and she always showed up for the team. Margaret always contributed. She was always there. She was on every single roster. She was always scoring points in some degree. She was so sneaky with that because she would always say like, oh, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. And it always was a big deal. So she was a great athlete, and she was and is a really, really amazing friend. And I think sometimes that can be hard to balance. Like if you're so focused on your own goals, sometimes it can be easy to get tunnel vision a little bit. And she never had that. She always knew exactly what was going on in everyone's lives. And people definitely go to her. And she's definitely one of the people that made my time at Bucknell very special. So.
All right, great. We're gonna let Ashlyn Ramos ask the next question.
All right. What advice do you guys have about networking and finding the right job after Bucknell? Caroline.
Sorry. I have a couple answers for this, but I'll choose one maybe. I guess my biggest piece of advice is to be reflective about the ways that running and being a part of the program has shaped you as a person and equipped you for the real world. And don't be afraid to like own those strengths and embrace those strengths and bring those with you wherever you go. In whatever job you find yourself. Actually, I'm going to say my other one too, because I also feel like this is a lesson I really needed. Embrace long-term development, just like you do with your running. So I just put so much pressure on myself. I think I missed out on a lot of the joy of the spring of my senior year because I was really anxious about finding the exact right fit. And in the last few years, I just feel like I've learned actually you know yourself, but you still have a lot more to learn when you're 22 years old, 21, 22 years old. So just embrace the next step that you take and know that you'll have lots of opportunities to shift course, to get to know where you want to be career-wise as you go along.
Chrissy?
Yeah, so know that the Bucknell network is amazing. Alumni really like helping current students or recent graduates out in any way they can, in my experience. So I know the Career Center has resources to help you kind of get connected to alums in some capacity. So definitely use that resource if you can. And then also kind of echoing off Caroline, because I have learned this in the past couple of years, it's just, being patient and realizing it's not always going to come together as fast as you might want it. But life is both short and long. So you have plenty of time. You'll figure it out. And if it's not the right thing right away, that's okay. You will figure out, what the right fit is for you. You have a lot of time. So,
Sarah.
Yeah, I agree with both Caroline and Chrissy and want to emphasize the fact that you don't need to know what you want to do. You're not selecting a career that needs to last you 30 years. I personally did not know what I wanted to do graduating. I moved back home and worked a couple of positions locally to try to narrow down what I wanted to do and figure it out. And ultimately, I, applied to a variety of different positions, but also reached out to Bucknell alumni. So I also wanted to emphasize that point as well. Whether they were track athletes, cross-country athletes, any sport or no sport, Bucknell alumni are, in my experience, have been great, and I would reach out to them regardless of whether they did sport, what year they graduated, etc. And definitely just kind of build your network and relax, have fun with senior year at the same time. It's everything. Yeah, like Chrissy said, life is short and long, and you are a student athlete at Bucknell. It's it's going to come together. So.
Stephanie.
So I heard that you're from the West Coast, right? So I don't know if you're planning on going back there, but it doesn't even matter. You, for as small of a school as Bucknell is, with 3,500 students, I kid you not, wherever you go, you will either meet somebody who went to Bucknell or meet somebody who knows someone who went to Bucknell. And that's just the way that it is. I lived in DC for a while. I was working in New Jersey. I moved in Philly. There's such a large network. And I also found that people were really willing to help and connect with you. And yeah, it's, you almost can't really escape the family, kind of. So I guess that's what I want to emphasize is don't be too worried about it. I think it will kind of find you in a way.
And Colleen.
So I think the biggest thing I've learned in my short 1 year out of Bucknell is that you shouldn't be embarrassed to take a job that maybe some of your classmates wouldn't take. That sounds a little odd, but I took a internship at a zoo when I graduated, and I had teammates and people in my graduating class who were taking big Wall Street jobs and doing really important things with lots of money at a desk somewhere. And I knew that I didn't want to do that, but I felt uncomfortable saying like, oh yeah, I'm doing an internship at a zoo. And I loved it. I loved it. And it exposed me to so many things. And I learned so much there about both a field that I'm very interested in and also about myself. And it's led me to all these awesome connections. And it took me a year and a half to realize that I think grad school is my next step. And if you had asked me in high school, I would have said, no, if I'm going to go to grad school, I'm going to know my junior year of college. I'm going to go straight away. I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to have it done. And I graduated and I was like, I think I need to step back. I think I need to explore for a little bit and then I'll decide to take that step. So I think don't be afraid to take a job that someone, your friend, wouldn't take or would have no interest in, or would say that's not prestigious enough, that doesn't make enough money. If it's something you think you'll love, even if it's just the first step, it'll bring you great connections. It'll teach you a lot about yourself. And there's nothing wrong with learning a lesson, no matter what job you take after you graduate.
All right, those are great answers. Thanks. Last question here, and you each got about a minute here because I have a meet a recruit. I actually just texted her and said 9:15, so we're good. But anyway, you know, you've seen our program from the outside. You guys have seen it from the inside. And I'm going to ask for a little advice. What kind of advice would you give me as the head track and cross country coach at Bucknell? We'll start with Sarah.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely think that the Bucknell program is ultimately what made my decision to want to go to Bucknell. So you run a great program. You are a great coach. And I think you write some of the most unique yet satisfactory workouts there are. And I really enjoyed those. I love the size of our team and the connection of our team. And I think Bucknell's strength is its depth. My one piece of advice connected to that would just be that Bucknell's strength is in its depth. And I think you do a good job of giving everyone opportunity and not letting all of our eggs fall in one basket, and just kind of trying to include everyone and remember, you know, every single person on the team. And I think that's really, really important. And I just want to emphasize that and kind of remark on that and that piece of advice, just to keep remembering everyone on the team, keep writing those specific workouts. And yeah.
Yeah, that's, I try to, it's tough to do, but every now and then we win a meet because of that.
Exactly.
You know, there's somebody rises that, you know, that may have not helped you before. We've won a couple championships that way, where somebody came out of nowhere and won the meet for us that, you know, may have given up a year earlier had we given up, you know, so. All right, Chrissy, any advice for me?
No, just kidding.
I'm taking notes here.
Yeah. Great. I think college is such a unique time, and especially at Bucknell, there's so much going on. And especially with stress, I think it's a really interesting thing to be a runner. Running, you just are always playing around with stress. Like, how do I stress this system, my lungs, my legs? Like, how do I recover? And just, I think the advice is around just kind of trying to take as much of the other stressors that are in people's lives like into account. And that's really hard to do for you unless the communication is like super good. But I just wanted to bring that up because it's tough balancing everything. And when you stayed up late studying for a test, it's tough to then do a really tough workout the next day or race in a couple of days. And you obviously know that. But yeah, just trying to really improve that like communication, whether it's between you and the athlete or the assistant, and try to take things into account and not necessarily be as focused as, oh, well, if you don't hit this workout, like we're screwed or something, and yeah, just kind of trying to take people as whole individuals rather than just an athlete, which I think is done very well at Bucknell, especially compared to some other programs. But yeah, just a good thing to try to emphasize.
You mean you're not just there to run?
I know, man.
Man,
All this studying, like, geez.
I know somebody that just wanted to come and run, and that's Miss Fulmer there. So that's for me.
Yes. So as much as I heard take the C, for me that was my reach. So
cut that one out, Todd. You gotta cut that one out here. You gotta edit a little bit.
No, so I think I have a unique position here, being the older one of the crew. I've really seen kind of from afar you grow, or what I perceive to be you grow within your coaching role. And that's been really wonderful to see. So I just want to kind of acknowledge that. And I think, and I don't believe you will ever do this, but make sure you always keep your open door policy. I utilize that like so much. I know that other people found that to be
We
end of the day, something or might make it, something that might make it easier for you is just remembering that every individual knows their own body well also, and they're able to kind of like stay in tune and stay in sync.
All right. We lost.
And I like your Donnerism.
20 seconds there. We lost you for about 20 seconds there.
Oh, bummer. I gave really good advice.
So, all right. Colleen, any advice for me?
So my advice is pretty similar. I think, I don't know how this is working in the time of coronavirus, but your open door was always really useful for me. Even if it was just walking in before a workout or a run and saying like, hey, I feel like trash today. Like, I think I'm going to cut this a little short, or, hey, I've been feeling really good. I felt great this week. Like, how about we push today? So being able to drop those little comments and know that your door was open and that you were listening, but also those times where I would come in and the conversation would be a little more serious and we would talk about things outside of running and kind of like give you a little bit more of a broad spectrum of what else was going on in my life. My classes were hard. I'm looking for a job. I don't know what's going on. I think having that open door and letting your athletes go in and out on their time when they feel comfortable, I think is also really important, because sometimes there's conversations that need to be had, but they can't happen until the athlete's ready to talk about them. So I think when your door is open and you're always inviting people in just to chat for a few minutes, and it can be casual or it can be serious, I think having that line of communication always available is probably the most important thing that you can do as a coach.
Okay, thank you.
Having your Zoom always open, maybe, I guess is the better way to phrase it.
Nowadays, yeah, nowadays. So
For the record, I was talking about your open door policy before it cut me out. So
Gotcha.
I totally agree with Colleen.
Stephanie was a frequent visitor.
I utilized that more than I probably should have. So
I will say that of this group right in front of me here, she won that award. So you visited me a lot, even more than you, Chrissy. She got you. She got you.
yeah, wow is right, Chrissy. I don't know if it's an award or what you call it.
Sometimes I get lonely there. So. All right, Todd, it's all you.
All right, Coach. So thanks, everybody. I want to turn my attention first to Ashlyn, and thank you so much for joining us tonight. And good luck with your training. And we are obviously keeping our fingers crossed that come this winter and spring, you will be competing. And if you are, I know that the Bucknell Spike Shoe family will be there supporting you like they always do. Hearing so much of that talk on this call just brings back a lot of memories of those, especially that meet that Colleen was talking about with the pouring down rain, and just everything being there was fantastic. And then I want to give Coach kudos watching me and apologize to Caroline, because Caroline, I'll tell you what, this is not an excuse, but in the 22 years I've been here, we have only had a handful, I can count them on one hand, of student athletes that have won 2 awards in the same year. And I apologize that I forgot you on the Christie Award, because that is a tremendous accomplishment. So I apologize for that. But for the rest of you, thanks for joining us again tonight. And thanks for everything you did while you were a member of the program, both on the track, on the cross-country courses, and in the classroom here at Bucknell, and the way you represented Bucknell. Thank you for that. And thank you for what you've done since you've graduated. The program is truly a family and supports each other, whether it's financially or showing up at meets and cheering or whatever it may be. The Spike Shoe family is a very close one, and one of our best here at Bucknell. So thank you for that. And then for those of you at home that tuned in to watch tonight, thanks for doing so, and go Bison.